But let's first take a look at the latest India numbers. India is about to cross the 1 lakh mark in terms of the number of coronavirus cases. We are at just over 97,000 cases right now, and the maximum number are being reported from Tamil Nadu, which is one of the states that has among the higher number of cases. These are the numbers that have come out today from Tamil Nadu and from Madhya Pradesh at 259. And of course, Maharashtra continues to be the state with the leading number of cases across the country. But the pictures that have really stood out in this crisis throughout all these 2 months have been those of desperate migrants who, despite trains and buses now being started for them, lakhs of whom are still trying to get home on foot. These are pictures today. We've got one shot here from Thane in Maharashtra where migrants are queuing up for buses. You have the Ramleela grounds in Ghaziabad in UP, again, massive crowds there queuing up to register to get onto trains. In Patna in Bihar, nearly 5 lakh migrant workers have returned. Some 8% or so of migrants who returned to Bihar so far have in fact tested positive as well for the coronavirus. Now, the pictures that really stood out today were the massive crowds in Ghaziabad, just outside Delhi, with no social distancing, desperate migrants trying to register their names to get onto trains. But in another interesting twist, the UP government accepted an offer made by Priyanka Gandhi of the Congress party to carry migrants in buses organized by them.
No social distancing as thousands of people in Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad at Delhi's doorstep jostle to register themselves for a train journey home. Or at least a bus to a designated station.
लोग एक दूसरे से चिपके हुए हैं. हर कोई बस इस कोशिश में है कि उनका टिकट मिल जाए, यहाँ से जो है जाने की व्यवस्था हो जाए. ज़्यादातर लोग यहाँ पर बिहार के हैं.
Hours later, a U-turn by the UP Chief Minister, accepting an offer by the Congress's Priyanka Gandhi Vadra to run 1,000 buses. She had made the offer after the UP tragedy where 24 migrants were killed in a truck accident. The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister accused her of playing politics. But 2 days on, his government has asked for details of the buses.
एक हफ्ता से हमको दौड़ाया जा रहा है, हमारा कोई नहीं सुन रहा है. पुलिस वाला हमें गाली देता है, पुलिस वाला डंडा मारता है, खाने के लिए भी देता है मगर डंडा भी मारता है. कोई साधन नहीं है रास्ता में. पुलिस वाले ने हमें जाने नहीं देता. हम कहाँ जाएंगे? नीतीश कुमार क्यों नहीं देखते, क्यों नहीं बोलते हैं?
पुलिस वहाँ तुम्हारी गाड़ी मिलेगी, कहीं नहीं मिलती है सर. हम यहाँ सर आज सुबह आए हैं, सुबह से लाइन लगाए हम लोग 6 बजे.
सुबह कितने बजे?
6 बजे से हम लोग यहाँ पड़े हैं. हमें खाना नहीं चाहिए सर, हमें गाँव जाना है. हम अपने जमीन में मरना चाहते हैं.
But another big worry is just how many migrants are returning with the coronavirus. Bihar has just released data on how as much as 8% of over 8,300 migrants tested positive, the most 218 from Delhi. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Meanwhile, former Finance Minister Yashwant Sinha began a dharna at 11 o'clock this morning at Rajghat in Delhi, demanding the deployment of armed forces and paramilitary forces to take migrant workers home with dignity, as he said, instead of beating them up and leaving them to die on the road. He had been at Rajghat all day and was detained by the police just a little while ago. My colleague Sukirti Dwivedi is outside the police station where Mr. Yashwant Sinha has been taken in a little while earlier. Sukirti, what are the police saying? What has he been detained for exactly?
Well, Nidhi, the police at this time has not commented on the issue. The police, however, police sources have been telling us that there has been no arrest so far, but he has been detained along with Sanjay Singh and Dilip Pandey from the Aam Aadmi Party, who had also participated in the protest at Rajghat. They'd been protesting there since 11 a.m. and about an hour ago they were brought to the Rajinder Nagar police station and have been here ever since. It is not clear at this point of time how much longer they'll be in there. The police sources have been telling us that the negotiations between the police and these leaders are still on, but they've not been released so far for at least an hour. They have been here at the Rajinder Nagar police station. The police had been trying at the Rajghat to ask these people to vacate, but when they did not listen to the police detained them and brought them here, and all the 3 leaders still inside the police station. Nidhi.
All right. Well, Yashwant Sinha is more than 80 years old. He's 82 years old, and he was sitting on a peaceful dharna there at Rajghat. So we'll have to wait and see what the police's explanation is for this action. Sukirti, thanks for joining us on that tonight. Well, I'd like to go straight across to our panel this evening, because what we're really looking at is the plight of migrants and whether we as a country have failed India's poor, because all these weeks later, as we are heading into the fourth version of this lockdown, we still have lakhs of people who are out there walking on highways and roads desperately trying to get home. Joining us tonight, Pawan Khera, spokesperson of the Congress Party, Sakina Dhurajiwala. She's a volunteer with SWAN, that's the Stranded Workers Action Network. It's a group of volunteers that has come together in the last 2 months to try and help migrants in particular on the ground. And Lalita Kumaramangalam of the BJP also joining us tonight. Ms. Kumaramangalam, if I could ask you first, it's actually been several weeks now since the government's counsel in the Supreme Court, the Solicitor General, actually told the Supreme Court that nobody is walking. There are no migrants who are walking on the roads of this country. And yet the pictures are completely different. Ma'am, your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Look, the migrant workers problem is both very unfortunate and very unprecedented. Now, I'm not saying that there is no problem. Of course there is. Everybody can see it quite frankly. I mean, quite openly, and there is no point in being stupid enough to say that there's no problem at all. But let us remember that initially when the lockdown was announced, one of the reasons why migrants started this long walk home, to put it in as polite words as I can, was because many states at that time were unprepared to face the exigencies of the COVID epidemic. And even now, unfortunately, there are a few states from where the migrants come who are not wanting to take them all back because they're afraid that they may be bringing back the infection to villages, etc. What is right, what is wrong, I am not here to judge that, because every state may have their own problems. However, the fact is that there are now lots of trains being deployed, and some states have taken back their migrants. Initially, the central government had offered to the states, and I think many states also had, I think Naveen Patnaik of Orissa had, and a couple of other states too, had told the chief ministers of other states that, look, we will give you the money, please keep them keep them there for now, and we'll give you the money to house and feed them. Now, obviously, human beings being human beings, in a time of crisis, all wanted to go home.
Ma'am, but can I just interject here for a second? Sure. Because the first lockdown was announced by Mr. Modi without telling anybody.
23rd of March.
The states were not taken on board when the first lockdown was announced with 4 hours notice. So that means that if the centre was preparing to do this, should the centre not have ensured that there were facilities made available or some kind of mechanism in place to make sure that people wouldn't just, abandon their homes and leave? There was fear, and that fear hasn't been mitigated till now, despite everything that's been announced in between. So does the centre not have to take the lead in this and taking responsibility for this?
Yeah, let me reply. One of the reasons for this fear, as you may well remember, is that there was a certain tweet which was put out by a particular MLA from one of the North Indian states. Now, I'm not going into who, why, where, when and all that, because it's really now past history and there's no point in going over spilt milk, crying over spilt milk. But the fact is that the centre, when Mr. Modi, please remember that a couple of days before the lockdown was announced, Mr. Modi had hinted, perhaps not said it in so many words, that we have some tough times ahead of us and India needs to stand together. Now, I don't think it's true, and it just cannot be that no states were warned. Perhaps they were not told exactly when the lockdown was announced, but states had been given a fair indication of the fact.
But why should there be indications? Why should people have to guess?
Nidhi,
in a country like us, I don't want to come in on this.
Yes,
I want to go to SWAN. I want to go to Sakina because Sakina, your network,
India has and our federal setup.
Well, I mean, it's a federal setup when we want it to be, but it's not a federal setup when it should be.
It would have been another 1.5 months before the lockdown was ever announced.
Yes, but it can't be that, the Prime Minister gave a whiff, he gave a hint in a speech, and people must guess. I mean, people must know what is going on.
Now, it's easy for us
Okay, ma'am, 1 second. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to get Sakina in on this, because what your organization, Sakina, has put together is very worrying. You're saying that more than 600 people migrants have died in the lockdown. Lockdown related deaths of migrants for various reasons, from financial distress to exhaustion, lack of medical care. Suicides are very high. 118 of them are just suicide related. Accidents, maximum. Train or road accidents, 174. Sakina, just take us through this.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that these figures have been collated by Kanika Sharma, Aman and others who have been tracking these through the news. And I think I just respond to Ms. Kumar Mangalam that you can't run a country on hints. The central government can't be giving hints. A whole part of this distress is because it's all been reactionary. Whether it's the ration support that's come after 50 long days, when from day one people have been asking, states have been asking to universalize PDS, the ration support comes in for migrants after 50 days. So this has all been very reactionary. The state governments, as far as the travel is concerned, you just go ahead and say, okay, now we're going to ease the travel and open it up. The state governments have been scrambling from here and there to make websites to figure out how to enroll people and register them to come on board. Workers don't know whether they have to register in the state. Which state government's portal do they have to register? They're going from one police station to another. They're running at stations. And I'm sorry, this is not unprecedented. This is right when you announced the lockdown on 28th. That day itself, earlier you announced the lockdown. On 28th, the Anand Vihar incident happened. Then the Surat incident happened. Then in Bandra. So you knew that people are want to go home. They are desperate to go home. They are, whatever their reasons to go home, whether it is their personal choice or the fact that they haven't been paid. More than 80% people haven't been paid.
Well, personal choice is a big thing in a democracy.
In this sort of a time.
Absolutely.
Nobody's finding fault with the fact that they wanted to go home.
It's definitely not a question of capabilities. It's a question of priorities of the government. I mean, if we're planning space travel at this time and we can plan a coordinated response to bring back people from various parts of the world with proper planning with other countries.
Sakina, can I ask you this? One of the big questions, Sakina, Sakina, just want to ask you this, and what your volunteers are picking up. I'll come back to you, ma'am. Just give me a second. I just want to ask you, why is it that despite trains being announced now, even buses operating, why is it that so many migrants are still choosing to walk? Why aren't they waiting? Just asking you what feedback your group has got on that.
There are a couple of reasons for that, Nidhi. The first is absolute anxiety and no kind of information, clear information that they're getting. So the first lockdown came, they waited a little bit patiently. The second one came, they waited a little bit more patiently. But now they're saying we don't know what is coming up next. Every day some new announcement is being made, and we've just been treated like animals. So they're just saying we can't depend on this government at all. We can't even trust you. We're just going to start working because we don't trust that you're going to put us on a train or anything.
Okay.
I mean, imagine the levels of desperation that you're walking in this kind of heat.
And mistrust. Pawan Khera, let me ask you though, that today we saw what I would say is a constructive thing. Priyanka Gandhi and the Congress offering buses to bring migrants back home to UP. The Yogi government in UP has accepted that. Now, is there a way that the opposition and the government can work together on this crisis? It's a humanitarian crisis. And do you think that we can try to find ways to do this more?
Maybe I think you just chart down the journey of each one of us, right, through the last 45, 50, 60 days. The Congress party has been giving constructive suggestions. We had been instructed by the leadership not to attack. I mean, there's no dignity in debating in a tutu-meme fashion anymore. We are really faced with a humongous humanitarian crisis today. Whether it was the suggestion to open up Narega sites, whether it was the suggestion to forego EMIs, Kisan Rin, each and every suggestion, whether it was Mrs. Gandhi who wrote letters to the Prime Minister, Rahul who wrote letters to the Prime Minister, Priyanka Gandhi who not only wrote letters to Yogi Adityanath, also set up a brilliant volunteer system, a network. If you go to the website, the portal, UP Mitra, you'll realize the kind of work we have done, quietly done. We don't want to attack the government. Yesterday, even before yesterday, for a week, we've been writing letters to Adityanath ji. Please organize buses. All our volunteer work had shifted to the highways from the villages in UP and other states. It had shifted to the highways because we could see the problem. No, Mr. Adityanath did not listen to us. Yesterday, for 14 hours, all the buses were lined up. You all saw it, the media saw it, the social media covered it. They were lined up on the border of Uttar Pradesh. I don't know why they were. All that we are saying is, no one person, whoever the Prime Minister is, आज मोदी जी हैं, कल कोई और होंगे, no one person can face or handle this kind of crisis alone. We'll have to work together. Your self-image, maybe whatever, but it's not enough to fight this to take this challenge on. You'll need everybody's help. But tell me, if you could arrange flights for all our stranded Indians abroad before the lockdown, when you stopped flights before that, you organized what you did organize. Why couldn't the Prime Minister organize trains 4 or 5 days before he was to announce the lockdown?
He comes and says, let me ask Lalita Kumaramangalam about that.
21 दिन की लड़ाई आप मजदूरों ने सोचा सिर्फ 21 दिन की है. You can't, as a Prime Minister who's considered to be an able orator and a communicator, आप hints में बात करेंगे क्या मजदूरों से कि hint दे दिया जी 21 दिन की होगी? अरे साहब माफ कीजिएगा, आपसे उम्मीद है देश को, थी देश को, अब तो नहीं है, कि आप सब कुछ सोच लेते हैं. You have able bureaucrats around you. आप हो सकता है you don't want to listen to the opposition.
Let me ask Ms. Kumaramangalam about that, because the other thing is, ma'am, when the finance minister was asked, for instance, about Rahul Gandhi meeting migrants, now her response was to immediately sort of lash out at the Congress and say, you know, why didn't he go and pick up their suitcases? Honestly, can we not have a more constructive way for the political class in this country to work together? If the opposition is able to give a constructive suggestion or any, does everything have to be seen with contempt?
Nidhi, if you would permit me to give my answer without interrupting, I'll do it. First, whatever the Congress spokesperson on the show may say, it was another spokesperson from the Congress who called us a soodkhor government. So the tutu meme has begun a long time back. Let's not be hypocrites and say it's not been there. One. Secondly, when the lockdown was announced, sudden, not sudden, I think that has been sort of discussed to death almost. And I don't mean to sound contemptuous or careless or callous. I apologize if it comes out that way. But the fact is that we have more than 30 states and union territories in this country. Most of the migrants from Maharashtra, from the south of India, and various other states too, come from the poorer states, less developed, poorer, whatever word adjective one wants to use. Now, when the lockdowns were announced, there was a very definite resistance to the migrant labor being accepted back into their own states. A couple of states, even today, are not willing to accept their labor. For example, though Yogi Adityanath is a very vilified man in these circles, the fact is that Yogi Adityanath has permitted over 90 trains carrying migrants from outside of, coming back to UP from outside of UP, whereas West Bengal has allowed only 19 trains. Now, again, I don't wish to say what's wrong, what's right, all of that is fairly obvious, it's out there. But the fact is, please, I allowed you to complete, sir, let me complete. You can, of course, after that say whatever you want. I'm here to listen. Now, as I said in the beginning, that there have been certain mistakes made, but to lay all the mistakes at the door of one individual, let me point out exactly what the Congress spokesperson said before me. It cannot be done by one man. We have an enormous number of chief ministers in this country. Some have done extremely well.
Why did the government
not
the
BJP
Supreme Court?
chief
Migrants
ministers.
are not walking on the road when they were, and they still are.
Badly.
Why was the government's position in the Supreme Court that there is nobody on the road, that no one is walking on the road? Why has Yashwant Sinha been detained by the Delhi police just now?
What has Yashwant Sinha's detention got to do with this, Nidhi?
Because
That's
he was sitting on a dharna for the migrants, on the migrant issue. He didn't pick up a gun. He was sitting on a peaceful protest at Rajghat. So is that something that warrants an arrest or a detention?
No, I'm not even going to, give the thing of replying to that question. You're just trying to pull various things together to lay everything at the BJP's door. That's not the point. The point is that yes, the migrant population, the migrant crisis is really a crisis.
Pawan Khera, quick last word.
Everybody has tried to do what they could. There have been lapses. But to say, 1 minute, let me please finish. But to say that this whole thing about one ration card...
Okay, ma'am, 1 second. I just have a couple of minutes. Pawan, yes.
It's not come 30 days late. It's probably come 30 years late. So
I'm sure,
Nidhi, go into that for now.
You will give us a lot of chance and opportunity later, once we have conquered COVID, to hold this government to task. I mean, take them to task and hold them accountable for major errors of judgment. Now, when I say one man cannot handle it, I want the Prime Minister to realize that why did he think he could handle it all alone? जब आपको कुछ अनाउंस करना होता है अकेले आ जाते हैं, जब ब्लेम करना होता है कहते हैं सीएम्स को ब्लेम करिए. You decided red zones, green zones and orange zones. You decided the date of lockdown. You decided to stop the railways because railways come under you, unfortunately. You're wrong, madam, when you say that Mr. Adityanath allowed X number of trains. Ask our Uttar Pradesh Congress committee, ask Maharashtra government, how many trains have been requisitioned? Wait, please don't interrupt, ma'am. Please don't interrupt. You are the ruling party. Have the humility to listen to people. We are the voice of the people today because we know what's happening. Please, आप सुनने का थोड़ा सा रखिए सब्र. Please ask the Maharashtra government. कितनी ट्रेन्स आप लोगों ने नहीं अलाउ की हैं उत्तर प्रदेश में? जरा पूछिए महाराष्ट्र की गवर्नमेंट, पूछिए बिहार की सरकार, हो तो आपकी सरकार है, उनसे पूछ लीजिए आप कर क्या रही हैं. पीयूष गोयल जी ऑन ट्विटर लाइज थ्रू हिज टीथ कि अशोक गहलोत जी ने मना कर दिया ट्रेन्स के लिए, अभी परमिशन नहीं दी है. हेमंत सोरेन ने मना कर दिया. एंड दे आर चीफ मिनिस्टर्स, इलेक्टेड चीफ मिनिस्टर. इमीडिएटली दे रिस्पॉन्ड कि पीयूष गोयल जी आप झूठ बोल रहे हैं. आप कम से कम आज तो शर्म, हम सबको तो आ रही है शर्म, क्योंकि हम पॉलिटिक्स में हैं, इस बात पे हमें शर्म आ रही है कि आज मजबूत आप तो सत्ता में, आपको ज्यादा होना चाहिए. आई एम नॉट वर्मा, आई एम पवन खेड़ा. नो, आई एम सॉरी.
शर्म आपको हर चीज ड्रामे करनी चाहिए. 60 साल से बैठ के सत्ता में आप लोगों ने किया क्या?
Can we not talk about 60 साल? Can we not go back to the same argument about 60 साल? Can I ask Sakina in this last 1 minute of the program?
Mr. Verma have the right to...
It's not Mr. Verma, it is Mr. Khera.
Sorry, Mr. Khera.
Sakina, can I just ask you that if you had to make an appeal to people today on what is immediately needed for those who are still trekking on foot and who are still out there with no means to fend for themselves, what do we need to do right now, Sakina? Oh, unfortunately, we've lost that audio just at the last minute with Sakina. I was really hoping to get some suggestions from her, but we'll try and follow up on that later. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us tonight. This story continues to be at the heart of the lockdown and the COVID crisis in this country. And perhaps a question that all of us should ask, not just of the government but of ourselves, is whether we have let down India's poor in this crisis. Thanks for watching. Good night.